Here we are almost 50 years and we're still considered the masterpiece of trade shows. We are the main trade show of the industry.
I think you have to have a presence. Everyone in the industry, the who's who, are usually at MANTS.
The approach that MANTS has taken, we really respect it because they've put business first and it is working.
I would say MANTS is all about relationships. Have a 92 to 93% exhibitor retention rate. We bring about 11,000 people to town every year, and we know that 75% of them, the attendees, come back year after year.
Kind of like the old days where you would finish farming and go to the city and buy your supplies and sell your stuff. So it's a good break from the normal routine and you can do some good business.
MANTS is kind of the start and the end of everything that we do. It's the start to spring, it's the end of fall, it's right in the middle. It's a good reunion, it's a good time.
I've met a lot of contacts and friends and associates throughout the industry. You're shaking hands, you're seeing how their year went, what they're expecting for next year.
I kind of feel like nearly MANTS is a place where innovation meets still tradition, and you can learn from both so much, especially if you're young and new to the industry.
Throughout the year, MANTS and the economic critical mass that it achieves supports the state organizations in the region to sustain the full array of programs that they do, and we partner on a lot of those. Without MANTS, the industry organizations that are doing so many other things would not have nearly the strength.
It's gray and dreary outside, it's cold, it's January, but as soon as you walk in the doors, there's nothing but life and color and greenery. There's fountains jumping and robots moving around, so it's just a really, really cool experience.
I've been coming to this show since 2015. We drive 14 hours from Missouri all the way to MANTS. It's an exciting show, new ideas all the time, good friends. It's amazing.
I've been to the different trade shows. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. You can see and meet everybody at one time.
Why this show has been so good and popular with vendors is the board listens to what the vendors have to say.
Our predecessors on the board had this vision for the show and really set the standard of what we wanted to do, and we're trying to maintain that standard.
It's a great chance to bring these people from all across the country really under one roof to be able to network with each other, to do business deals together, and it's really forming those relationships that are the foundation upon which business is done, and the MANTS show is a great opportunity for that to happen.
The need was to try to increase business for groups from this region. First one in Williamsburg with a handful of exhibitors, and then when we moved to Hunt Valley, north of here in Baltimore, we were expanding by a few each year. And we met in Virginia Beach, I think 1 or 2 times, met in West Virginia at the Greenbrier. And really to move to Baltimore was the thing that kind of put it all together.
The then AAN, which was the American Association of Nurserymen, and now known as AmeriHort. The annual national meeting moved around the country. After a 5-year effort, we were fortunate enough to secure an arrangement where they would come meet here in Baltimore with MANTS. For the first time, we got full national exposure, and it opened the eyes of many individuals elsewhere in the country as to what was happening at MANTS. It came to be regarded as a seminal event because from that point forward, we saw the influx of more national companies coming here to Baltimore to be a part of this successful event.
The show has a tremendous economic impact on the city of Baltimore for the week that we're here. We're proud to say is usually 5th or 6th highest economic impact in the city in one fiscal year. January can be a slow month. Tourism is slow, but we're bringing the business to the tourism agencies, the food service agencies, and our people like coming to Baltimore, and it's an affordable place to do business.
We have a really good relationship with the union that works here. I tell all my crew, I've even talked to the union guys about all this, I said, you make these exhibitors want to come to Baltimore. We don't want them to go to Chicago, we don't want them to go to Philadelphia, we want them to want to come to Baltimore.
At a board meeting, Carver once said, 60% of the U.S. population lives within 6 hours of Baltimore. He said it's where it happens.
What I attribute the success of MANTS, Baltimore is one of those pieces to the puzzle.
My father, Carl Flemmer, he was a good friend of Carvel Akehurst. Carvel bought plants from us, and they developed a good relationship. And through the years, my father and Carvel actually were two of the 3 or 4 people who decided to start a trade show. Carvel basically put it all together and developed it, and it's grown to what it is today.
He was the type of person that would talk to anybody, anytime.
We called him Mr. Perfect. He just had this ability. There were very few things he couldn't do.
I knew Carvel very well. He definitely was the right person at the right time.
Carvel made the connections to make MANTS what it is now, not only in the industry, but in the city of Baltimore.
He was always a stickler for detail, and he made sure that the people around him appreciated the importance of getting it right.
He was a very outgoing person and was a very good organizer.
Carvel was a guiding light of this whole operation.
Carvel was probably one of the smartest men I ever knew, and I always accused him of having a crystal ball hidden someplace because he could see into the future.
He did all kinds of things, and he was a very unique person, and we were very lucky to have him.
He would allow a group of people to voice their opinions and then make a decision. But he was always very thoughtful, very considerate, very humble, but he had a presence.
He knew what to do and who to go to when you needed something. He was instrumental in moving it along. Good organizer, he was on top of things. We have to attribute a lot of the success of the show to that family, that's for sure.
The ability to network and build the relationships, that's something that my father emulated as he worked with the show.
Carvel passed away suddenly. He had it set up so well that his wife, Nancy, could run it for a couple years.
Nancy Akehurst, who worked beside my father, was that quiet support person working alongside of him for many, many years, since the beginning of MANTS. She deserves as much credit as my father does for the success of MANTS and the growth of MANTS, literally, because one person can't do it alone. It's many, many people. It's more than products and services, it's the people that are there executing that commerce, building the relationships. That's what MANTS is all about. A lot of commerce has been conducted over the years, a lot of relationships, and that's really the purpose of MANTS. It was formed to foster commerce in the nursery industry.
Carvel and his wife, and now his daughter and her husband, and a lot of volunteers over the years. We've had just a wonderful group of people that work together, led by the Akehurst family.
It's amazing, it's running and it's thriving.
There's young folks stepping up that are taking over and doing a wonderful job.
There's people down there exhibiting that are second and third generation of nurserymen and people that I knew their dads, I knew their granddads.
I'm glad it's a survivor for 50 years, and I can see it has a good future ahead of it.
About 5 years ago, I think everything got finalized and we formed the group Emergent, bringing young people, whether it's high school grads from an FFA program, 4-H program, college grads, to get involved in the nursery industry. There's so many different facets in our green industry besides just growing plants. There's consulting, there's arboriculture, there's teaching. It's important to always look to the future. We need to educate the young people coming into it. So coming and getting real world knowledge, real world feedback from what the people have to say here.
So I think everybody in the business, even when you grow plants or when you plant plants, you have that feeling of a reward that you're contributing to society.
It's about doing business, and so we say MANTS means business. That's the legacy of the show.
It's a fun place to come to and interact, not only professionally but socially with your colleagues. The MANTS show is a great opportunity to get together face to face and really kind of have the conversations and kind of dig deeper, if you will, that you can't just really get in an email or even a phone call.
It's been a thrill to meet so many nice people. It's a dream come true.
I guess if there's one word that summarizes MANTS to me, it's business.
Business. Business.
It's America's trade show. This is a vital show.
I'm still dealing with those people today, and their sons, daughters, the best of people.
It is the indicator of what our industry is going to be like for the year.
To
to celebrate the 50th and just to see some of the people who've literally been exhibiting here for 50 years, attendees who have been attending for 30, 40 years, people on staff who've been with us for so long. It's just an honor to celebrate that.
All of the folks helping move in are very courteous. They help us get in, they help you get out. The other shows were not giving me the return for my money that MANTS does.
We want to continue this. We wanted to continue for a very, very long time. This is home. This is home for MANTS. As you go forward, we want the next 50 to be even greater than the first 50.
I still very, very firmly believe, despite the advent of technology and all the advancements in technology and the internet and electronic commerce, I still feel our folks, our attendees and exhibitors value this one-to-one relationship. I still think they need that and want that in 50 years' time.
It's been a great ride, and I just know it's going to keep going.